Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC on ESPN 15, Munhoz versus Edgar. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the main card. So in our first fight on the main card, we have a fight in the welterweight division, Daniel Rodriguez versus Takashi Sato. So this is a fight between two southpaws, two fighters with a lot of power, two fighters basically not in the same exact position, but definitely two guys trying to rise to the top, two guys kind of fresh to the UFC, I think a year or two at most. So yeah, in that sense. So when I look at Takashi Sato, definitely got a big left hand, a lot of power with left hand, and I think he got a good right head kick or a good right kick in general. But it definitely kind of like a style that's kind of common away. Like guys, they'll have decent enough takedown defense, decent enough grappling, and they have that one good side where they got a lot of power. They got the other hand that kind of sets it up, and they kind of the whole style as far as on the feet, they try to move you into that power, and then they crack. Like they got that one shot, that money shot, or that hand that you got with a dynamite in it, and they just try to walk you into that style. Into that bomb. That's basically their style, and that's what I see Takashi Sato is. He's a tough guy and all this other stuff. He got the other skills, but when you look at really what his danger is in that left hand, and if he can walk in, he can knock out pretty much anyone in the division, or at least on the scale where he's at right now. Definitely going up. If he wants to really stick around the division, he got to round out his game and maybe make that right hand a little bit more dangerous, but left hand right now has got him to the dance. Now Daniel Rodriguez on the side, I see a guy with bombs in both hands. I see a guy with very good kicks on both sides. I see a guy that's like sneakingly technical. Like even like though you know he's technical, he's a lot more technical than you give him a credit for when you look at him fight. Especially when before he came to UFC, and now seeing in the UFC, you see how it's like you really see that he's at this level. You really see when he's against higher level opponents and not getting caught in like brawls on the lower end and not getting enticed to these brawls. You start to see his like like I said, the technique, like the whatever case. Basically, you see the details of his like the levels to his striking, the levels to his like grappling, level to his fight IQ, level to his skills when he's in there with competitors on a similar skill set to him or on a higher level. And definitely probably even before he came to UFC, like when he knew he was coming to UFC, he definitely stepped his game up even more. So Daniel Rodriguez has impressed me a lot, definitely since being in UFC. So I look at these two right here. Sato is 5'10", Rodriguez is 6'1". I think Sato had like a 73-inch reach or 72-inch reach, and Rodriguez has a 74-inch reach, so he has the 1-inch or 2-inch reach over him, and he has a 3-inch height advantage. And I see Rodriguez is the better striker, and I see him as the better grappler as well. Like I said, I think Sato's, matter of fact, I think what's most important, I think he's the better boxer. The southpaw will make it interesting, especially trying to walk Rodriguez into his left hand. That's going to be an issue, especially given that Rodriguez is taller. That Rodriguez is the better boxer. And Rodriguez does a good job of avoiding people's power. He got good footwork, underrated boxing, and he can know like good positioning, and also the way he mixes his kicks very well. Even already been a taller fighter, already been a longer fighter, and already been a better boxer. The kicks will allow him to definitely throw off Sato's left hand even more. And the fact that they're southpaw is going to make it even awkward even more because they kind of be in the same position. Like I said, I feel like Rodriguez is dangerous with both hands, and he's a better boxer. He mixes up very well. And like I said, not with one, like just his left hand, and not just with one kick, but with both sides. He might not have that one big shot like Sato has, but he has far more tools, and he knows how to use them better, and he knows how to move you a lot of different ways instead of just to one direction. Like when you got one guy that only knows how to move you to that left hand versus a guy that can move you right, or he can move you left, or he can move you back. And also Sato going back is not the best fighter. I think Rodriguez can definitely have some solid forward pressure as well, where you're not just walking into a punch or walking directly where a guy wants you to move, but you are with your striking and with your movement and your pressure and your feints, you're pushing the guy back, not just like moving where he wants to move. He's moving you where he wants you to move. I could throw off Sato's left hand. And when I looked at Sato even before he came to UFC, he doesn't do the best moving back. That left, if he can move you to the side, then he can hit you in the punch. But you move directly back, he really don't have that left hand's not there anymore. Then against the cage, he really has no strikes. Already not really dangerous against the cage. He's not dangerous entering the clinch. He's not dangerous exiting the clinch. Like when he exits the clinch, he kind of is almost like he expects nothing to happen there. So you could exit the clinch, you could hit him with a hook right there or a body shot, elbow, anything, because he's not really, he kind of just leaves his chin hanging up there. He just kind of like expects, like almost in a boxing match when a ref breaks up a clinch and nothing's going to happen afterwards. That's kind of how I see him when he exits the clinch or enters the clinch. Like he doesn't expect nothing to come after that. So that's definitely another avenue. But basically the point with this one, I think Rodriguez outboxed Sato, shuts down his left hand, catches him, drops him, and then taps him out probably with like a rear naked choke, or takes his back and gets I would say rear naked, like gets a guillotine, or takes his back and gets a rear naked choke. And I think that happens in the second round. So in this fight, I got Daniel Rodriguez via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Maria Agapova versus Shayna Dobson. So look at this fight right here. This fight really, Dobson is just getting fed to the wolves, or fed to the grizzly bear, or fed to a dragon. Because, I mean, it's not that bad in reality. Like, Shayna Dobson might be able to land some power. Like, she got some power. She might be able to land that shot. But in reality, that's like a plus 3,000 chance that will land, actually hit. Because Maria Agapova, she's taller by a lot. She's longer by a lot. She's faster. She's much younger, much more technical on the feet. Whereas Dobson got two big bombs. Like, she got some heavy hands, but she's been picked apart by much less strikers. And now she's going against a young, fresh, talented striker who can just like outvalue him like 10-1 and not even allow you to get to her and like just pick you apart with the kicks and punches and keep you at distance. That's what I really see happening. I see Maria Agapova just keep her on the end of her punches and kicks and just tearing Shayna Dobson and never giving her a chance to breathe. I just see her putting her away in the first round. So in this fight, I got Maria Agapova via first round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the light heavyweight division, Mike Rodriguez versus Marcin Prachnio. Or Marcin Prachnio, well I should say the same name, but look at this fight right. I don't remember Prachnio being this tall, but he's 6'3" and Rodriguez is 6'4", so both actually pretty big. In the fights, Prachnio didn't even look that big. I think Sam Alvey only like 6'1", 6'2", but like he was shorter than Sam Alvey. I don't know. Maybe it's the way he fights or maybe the way he stands, but either way. When I see this fight right here, Mike Rodriguez, two guys that definitely can do a lot of work to improve upon themselves. Like definitely when I look at them, a lot of work. Rodriguez definitely got to improve his grappling and his takedown defense. Definitely got to improve his range control. Definitely got to improve some footwork so that people can't walk in the shots or people can't just enter. Maybe got to work on that jab a little bit. But definitely a little stuff to work on. Prachnio just got to improve his hands and boxing all around. Definitely got to improve on ring awareness or cage awareness and distance control. And definitely fight IQ. He got to do it, improve a lot of stuff. Because just look at the Sam Alvey fight. Like, he was landing those big, powerful kicks. And for whatever reason, he started literally walking with his hands down right into beyond punching range. Like, he was in clinch range almost, walking with his hands down against a puncher in Sam Alvey. Got dropped, got back up, and kept walking with his hands down and got knocked out. Like, where's your fight IQ? What are you even thinking? When all you really got is kicks, why are you even in that range? Like, you should just stay at kicker range and just be tearing them up with kicks. But why are you going to walk into punching like beyond, like you're literally like almost nose to nose walking with him, or are you like you just lean over an inch and your head's touching his? Why are you that close with your hands down when you're a kicker? But like, and that's pretty much the point. Prachnio's not the smartest fighter from what I've seen. Got some heavy kicks, very fast, very fluid, very dangerous, very snappy. Like his kicks are crazy good. Hands aren't the best, almost non-existent. Haven't really seen a ground game from him, so don't expect to see one from him. But maybe if he just saw how bad Rodriguez's grappling game is and just mix that in, he could definitely just upset this fight right here. But outside of that, with his fight IQ I've seen and just been kind of limited to just being a kicker, I don't give him the best chance. And Rodriguez been a taller fighter. I think Prachnio's reach is like a 73-inch reach, whereas Rodriguez has a really long reach at 82. So he can almost punch him from where Prachnio could kick. And with how Prachnio keeps his hands down, that's not a good picture. And also with how Prachnio, for whatever reason, is sometimes just his fight IQ, like, I don't know, like his controller just dies at some point or bugs out and he just stops fighting and starts doing dumb things out there. I can really see Mike Rodriguez is catching with that left hand and dropping him at any point in this fight. But what I see is that first the fight starts off with them trading kicks. Prachnio probably slightly edging that part of the fight. But then when the fight starts to settle down a little bit more and they start to get each other in range, I think Rodriguez starts to find his hands in the fight. I think eventually he starts tagging with that left hand. And I don't think Prachnio responds to it the best. Probably responds to it in a way that makes it even more effective against him. Probably just tries to slug with him or tries to just get in. I don't know what he does. But he does stuff that you wouldn't even think you would do in that situation to get out of that situation. So he'll probably just start walking with his hands down and hoping that, I don't know, by walking to a punch that he's going to miss and probably walk right into the left hand, get cracked, get dropped, and get knocked out. And I think it happens in the late stages of the first round. So in this fight, I got Mike Rodriguez via first round TKO. Now to our co-main event, we have in the in the heavyweight division. This is weird. Why is oh, never mind. This is light heavyweight. I just saw something that said light heavyweight because OSP moved up to heavyweight, so they had heavyweight on his name. But whatever case, this is a light heavyweight fight. We got OSP Ovince Preux versus Alonzo Menifield. So looking at this fight, Alonzo Menifield is coming off his first loss of his career, was 9-0. Now he's 9-1 after losing to Devin Clark via decision. So Look at this fight right here, OSP versus Menifield. I think Menifield is a favorite right now for whatever reason. But we're looking at Menifield just to get to the point is one. Menifield, like, you already know OSP, so I'm going to tell you about Menifield. So Menifield is a fighter that, I think he was an orphan. Like, he definitely was an orphan and bounced around orphanages and stuff. Then he, like, got a nice family or something. And, not a nice family, but he got adopted. And I think in high school, he picked up football. And I think got a scholarship off football. And that's about it. I don't think he had done this in college with his football, but did enough to get him a scholarship to college. And then he, I guess, did whatever he did with that. So when you look at his background, he's not a wrestler. He's not a boxer. He's just a guy that wrestled in high school. I mean, not wrestled in high school. He played football in high school. And then I guess at some point picked up MMA in his adulthood. So there's no wrestling background to him. There's no boxing background to him. He's really just a pure athlete. Like, he probably got a good hit from football and training and just been athletic and born athletic and all that stuff and genetics. But you see a guy with some power. You see an athletic guy. But the technique definitely needs a lot of work. Like, his wrestling, you don't really see no wrestling from him. You don't really see no amazing, like, phenomenal wrestling defense from him. Like, he kind of just has good hips and just able to stuff some takedowns just off, not even the best technique, just by being strong and being quick and being able to have those reflexes to get off those takedowns. You know, feet. It's not like he has the best setups to strikes or the best jab or the best this or the best that. Like I said, this guy that has very athletic. He's trained MMA. It's not like he don't know MMA or don't know these things, but it's not like it's at a very high level. It's a guy that's athletic and strong who has a bit of MMA. That's what you see from him. And he's gotten very far off that. He got into the UFC, but we saw when he fought a guy that didn't fall to his power and guy that kept pushing him, like he started to slow down after the first round. And then Devin Clark, even though Devin Clark is not the best striker and almost a guy that's like, he got a phenomenal wrestling background, but doesn't have the best striking of his own, was able to outstrike him and just look like he was just the more cleaner striker, more cleaner, more technical fighter from that first round, well, after the first round, from the second and third. Because Menifield is kind of gassed himself out. And when, like I said, when the punch is not knocking people out, you see that there's not really a lot to him yet. Like, he's still got a lot of improvement to do. Now going against OSP, a guy that's taller than him, probably even more athletic than him, definitely wrestled at, I mean, they both play football, but OSP was playing for like a top college. I think his college got, I don't know. But OSP was definitely a much more accomplished football player. That's what I'm getting to. And definitely a higher level athlete. But he's older up there. That's the one you can say he's older, so maybe not the same. But really, and to get to the point of this one, really to get to the point of this one, I feel like Menifield going to be trying to wing big shots on him, but not going to be landing on OSP. And even if he does, OSP is a tough guy and will get back to his feet, especially if Devin Clark was able to take your punches. If Devin Clark could take your punches, OSP could take your punches. But as we all know, there's a timing and chance and odds, and anybody can knock anybody out, and that could be the case. But I don't, if it's given off what I've seen, I think OSP should be more than enough to be able to take Menifield's power. I'm not saying he's going to be able to just, like, give me your best shot at eating his punches like that. But if he's able to, like, I mean, if he needs to take a shot, he can take a shot. Take a Menifield out of the first round. And definitely could probably counter Menifield. That's when Menifield is firing these big shots. OSP should be able to counter and time him. Be able to keep him apart with those big kicks to the body, into the leg, and up top. And really, like I said, he just takes him out of the first round. That's what he has to do in the general. Just take him out of the first round. Then in the like the later on rounds, just start picking him apart. Then he puts him away in the third round. So take him out of the first round. Take those kicks to the body, to the leg, to the head. Wear him down. And then as the round goes down, he starts to drop those hands, get tired, put it on him, and put him out in the third round. So in this fight, I got OSP via third round TKO. Now on to our main event, we have in the bantamweight division, Pedro Munhoz versus Frankie Edgar. So we got the former lightweight champion. So in this fight, we got Frankie Edgar, the former lightweight champion. So again, I say that, but yeah. And like the 20-time title challenger, definitely accomplished MMA fighter, and definitely a fighter, no matter how accomplished he is, people will underrate him. And you know, they say, why is he underrated? And I'm not even going to get into that because that'd be a whole nother video. But Frankie Edgar is a very underrated fighter. I think legacy-wise, no matter how good he is and how good people perceive him as, I feel like he's still going to be a very underrated fighter legacy-wise. And yeah, so Frankie Edgar is a very talented fighter. And even at this point, being the underdog shows why he's so underrated, or why I'm saying he's so underrated. So looking at this fight right here, you got Pedro Munhoz versus Frankie Edgar. Pedro Munhoz was on a tear until he ran into Aljamain Sterling. And Frankie Edgar was, around that title picture until, he did get a title shot. He lost a very close fight to Max Holloway. And then after that, he fought Chan Sung Jung and got obliterated. I don't know if that's the exact path of how his last fights went, but he definitely come up with a loss to Chan Sung Jung. Now coming to this fight, he's dropping down to bantamweight. I don't know how the weight club would affect him, because at 155 he definitely was undersized. At 145 he still was low key undersized. So I don't know if 135 gonna be a big weight cut. I don't think he ever struggled with 145 cutting weight to 145. So we'll see if the weight cut's a struggle for him. That might be an issue. But given the professionalism of Frankie Edgar and the fact that I don't think he ever missed weight, I don't think he ever will unless he try to go to 125 or 115. I think he'll sure be to come in good shape. He's a guy that always comes in good shape, always come to fight. Even though it might not have looked like that in his last fight, it was just a style match in my opinion. The reason why Chan Sung Jung was a bad matchup for Frankie Edgar because Chan Sung Jung has a phenomenal grappling game. I'm not saying like he's a guy that's gonna go out there and submit every single person, but his ground game is phenomenal. His takedown defense is phenomenal. Ability to get to his feet was phenomenal. He was a bigger fighter, the younger fighter, and he has solid boxing. He's not a guy that's gonna go out there just winging shots. He's gonna go out there picking shots, probably stuff Frankie Edgar's takedowns. And this picking shots been longer, stronger guy, and with solid boxing. And not like that, we're not forcing the shots. Like Frankie Edgar's gonna be doing little soft volume shots, where every single shot of Chan Sung Jung is gonna be a big power shot. So he's gonna be picking the shots, landing them, and Frankie not gonna give Frankie Edgar the chance to really duck under the big looping shots. So that was a bad style match for him. Now Pedro Munhoz on the side, he's an underdog to Pedro Munhoz. I think when he fought Chan Sung Jung, it was like almost 500, or maybe one person was a little bit favored, or one person was a little bit underdog, but I don't know why he's such a big underdog to Pedro Munhoz. So when I look at this fight right here, Pedro Munhoz, not the best hands, but he definitely know how to throw those things. Like he got some good hands, but not the best hands. Like he got short arms, T-Rex arms, very good kicks to the body, good kicks to the leg. Like he could chew your leg up, spinning back kicks. Like he could definitely chew you up with some kicks. And then very tough, like extremely tough. Been in there with some real good guys and had some tough fights. So it's not just like he's tough against the lower skills. He's been tough against everyone in general. And he got phenomenal guillotine, a high-level grappling game, but definitely his guillotine is his bread and butter. And now he's going against Frankie Edgar. And what I see in this fight, Frankie Edgar is actually they're the same height. And for once, Frankie Edgar has some type of advantage over somebody. I think he had like a 2-inch reach advantage over, I think like 65 versus 67 or 65 versus 68. So Frankie Edgar has a reach advantage over him. They're the same height. Speed-wise, I'd probably give it to Frankie Edgar overall, speed-wise. Matter of fact, I'd probably give him hand speed as well, but we'll see. It's definitely like Frankie Edgar dropped from 155 to 135. So every time you go down, the speed goes up, the overall speed of the division goes up. So I'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how Frankie Edgar's speed is affected, or how good a speed. I mean, basically, how does Frankie Edgar's speed hold up in this lower division? So, but what I see is that Frankie Edgar could take down Pedro Munhoz. I think he could outbox Pedro Munhoz. What I see with the threats for Pedro Munhoz to Frankie Edgar is if he could chew the leg up. Like I said, he got good leg kicks, he got good kicks. The speed, if he can like throw off Edgar's timing and be able to catch him in places that Frankie Edgar not used to getting caught. But hand-wise, like I said, I don't think Pedro Munhoz's hands are the best. He got some decent hands, but like I said, he got T-Rex arms. And that's why he's getting chewed apart by so many people early on in his UFC career, and to the point where he had to kind of just find those moments where they slipped up, or he's able to counter them that one time and then get them to give up the neck and get a guillotine. But like I said, his hands aren't the best for sure. It's more so his kicks. He got some power in his hands, but he got short arms. I think Frankie Edgar could outbox him all day. Definitely the better boxer. I think Frankie Edgar could take him down like all day. But Pedro Munhoz got good takedown defense, but who has he really fought at the caliber of Frankie Edgar as far as wrestling? No one. So I think Frankie Edgar could take him down. Frankie Edgar has never been submitted in his career. He has phenomenal submission awareness. He can shut down submissions very well. Being a guy like Charles Oliveira and the list goes on, BJ Penn and some other phenomenal grapplers. Been able to take him down and shut down that grappling game, especially if he takes him down. I don't think Munhoz could take Edgar down. So Edgar will be able to strike him. He'll control whether the fight goes to the ground or not. He definitely has to worry about Munhoz grappling, definitely that guillotine. But Frankie Edgar has done a phenomenal job of being able to shut down submissions. Whether he's hurt or rocked, he never gives up submissions. Like he's always on his point of cue. Even that fight with Chan Sung Jung, it was never like he was out of the fight. It was that he was taking so much damage that the ref had to stop the fight. Even when he was already rocked, like extremely rocked, Chan Sung Jung couldn't really flatten him out. He kept getting back to his feet here, like he probably saying all stars, and still his natural he's trained so hard that even rocked and not even in the fight, his technique is still coming through. So Frankie Edgar, I don't see no problem with him defending the grappling of what's it called? Munhoz, the submission attempts of Munhoz. I think he could shut those down completely. I think he could outbox him on the feet. I think he could take it to the ground. The 5 rounds definitely makes it interesting. But Frankie Edgar is a cardio machine. I mean, I'm all messing my words up. But Frankie Edgar is a cardio machine. He's was consummate or whatever the word is. He's a professional. Like he's not a guy that can come out there and out of shape or come out there looking half than this or not less than this. He's gonna come out there about as good as he can, whether he got injuries or not. He can come out there and put on a performance to be able to work through those 5 rounds. So he's not gonna be a guy out there gassing. unless Pedro Munhoz was able to really land some good body kicks over the course of the fight. But what I see, if he does those kicks, he's going to get put on his back. Frankie Edgar's going to shut down his submissions and really just probably put him in the corner or put him on the cage and just be beating on his body, wearing on him in his guard. And like I said, and as a matter of fact, one thing about I would give Frankie Edgar, he's probably at this point from modern MMA, like at this point overall in MMA, I say he might be the best guy in the guard. Well, you guys say Khabib, but Khabib hasn't really even fought no amazing grappler. Like Frankie Edgar has actually fought some amazing grapplers, and he's been able to shut down their guards and pass their guards and really just shut down that submission game and just really put people down and land some real effective ground and pound on all levels of wrestlers and grapplers and people, not just with Khabib just fought some strikers and some okay this and okay that. If Khabib fought Frank Edgar, he's much bigger, he would dog him. But as far as Frank Edgar actually the fighting, Frank Edgar has literally fought all types of people and all types of skill sets. Where I say Khabib has not fought those people. You know, he's the guy right now, and they're in way different divisions now. I'm gonna give Frank Edgar overall, that's the guy that can mix it so well on the ground to shut off submissions so well and just pick apart people and just dog them. So like I say, it's Frank Edgar getting a takedown, getting control, and mixing the boxing, catching the kicks, taking Munhoz down, beating him up in the guard, neutralizing his grappling. And I see that happen over the course of 5 rounds and Frankie Edgar beating Munhoz to a decision. So in this fight, I have Frankie Edgar via decision. And that concludes my fight predictions for the main card of UFC on ESPN 6/15, Munhoz versus Edgar. And as always, thanks for watching.